He's on a mission to save soil. It's a global issue for all of us. If you have to look at our future generations, this is something which needs to become the burning issue of the moment. Joining us now is Sadhguruji. Sadhguruji, namaskaram. Thank you very
Namaskaram,
much.
Anand.
53 days on the road, and more importantly, sir, a solid pitch to the world at COP15. Take us through what has happened so far.
As you know, COP15 is conducted by UNCCD, and last year, COP14, India had the presidency. So there was also a ceremony of handing over to Cote d'Ivoire. Our Environment Minister, Bhupender Yadavji, had come to do that ceremony. But apart from that, in many ways, we have shifted the focus towards soil. The mandate in UN is towards land. They don't really talk about soil, but within the land there is soil, vegetation and water, which is the concern anyway. So unfortunately, till about 2 months ago, there was no word soil being mentioned in climate issues. Everybody is talking about CO2, CO2. This is simply because, if one person says something, it's just reverberating with unthinkingly without seeing what is the issue. When nearly 40% of climate change and global warming is happening because of soil issues, and exposed soil. In the world, 54% of the world's land is fully plowed and full-scale agriculture. Nearly 18 to 20% is partial agriculture. So nearly 70 to 71% of the world's land is plowed. 4.2% of the world's land is urban land, so it is paved. So the problem of the planet is this: it's either plowed or paved, which means there is no enough green cover. When I say green cover, people are always thinking in terms of temperature, this, that. Yes, all those things are there. Definitely, the radiation from the land could be hugely mitigated by having green cover. There's no question about that. But the most important aspect is, nearly 1 billion years ago, some very smart algae or fungi discovered a way of cooking their food using the perpetual energy of the sun. Today, we call that phenomena as photosynthesis. At that time, before photosynthesis started, the oxygen level in the Earth's atmosphere was a shade over 1%. Yeah. Today is 21%. You and me are alive only because of that. All complex life form has become possible on this planet, even in the evolutionary scale of things, only because of the increase in oxygen content in the atmosphere. That has essentially happened because of photosynthesis. But in the last 1,000 years, we have taken away 85% of photosynthesis from the planet. 85%. So this is the main issue which has not been addressed. So I've been talking about it for 30 years now, and everybody claps their hands. Everybody says, "Great, Sadhguru, this is wonderful," and they go to sleep. So I thought I had to do something to wake up everybody. So I took this motorcycle thing at this stage of life. It's insane. Everybody thought I'll kill myself. But 53 days, I'm still alive and doing well. And definitely the narrative on the planet has changed towards soil. Everywhere there is a talk about soil. Governments are talking about soil. Governments are already allotting investments in the direction of soil. United States has allocated $1 billion towards cover crops, which is nothing much for that country. And for soil ecology, Germany has allocated $4.5 billion. India has allocated $2.3 billion for the 13 rivers, river basin projects, which is a kind of a replica of, based on Kaveri Calling project. And fortunately, they've included Kaveri also. This means I don't have to go around the world begging for money to conduct this Kaveri Calling. They will do it from now on, hopefully. We can just facilitate a few things. So this is beginning to move in that direction. The narrative has definitely shifted. And in the COP14 and the COP15, this significant movement in this direction is happening. I had a meeting with the Cote d'Ivoire President and Prime Minister. They are all fully taken by this whole movement, and they're all fully supporting it. Not only supporting it, they have promised policy changes. And Ibrahim Thiaw, who heads UNCCD, his focus and his commitment is there. So definitely we are moving towards a solution. Right now I'm in Riyadh. Just met the agriculture minister of Saudi, Arabia. They're doing fantastic work, but at the same time, it's a very high investment-driven kind of work.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing how to drive them more towards natural solutions rather than engineering solutions.
Well, every region, be it continent, country, has its own different characteristics, climate-wise and of course ecology-wise. But the challenges are many. Africa as a continent, it does not have the kind of richness or the ability to replace and continue to staying on power as soil in India has or has shown surprisingly. So, is there a consciousness there? And secondly, let's look at India. But before even we come to India, let me ask you, as far as the engagement on social media is concerned, awareness is concerned, people responding to the Safe Soil movement is concerned, are you encouraged by what you're seeing?
Yeah, as I said, the idea was to move at least 60% of the world's adult population so that the governments will take this seriously, because in a democracy, numbers are the only real currency. The important thing we need to understand is we're always thinking governments are not doing this, governments are not doing this. The governments are elected not to do something fantastic. Governments are elected to fulfill people's mandate. Where is the mandate? Tell me in one nation in the world where 60% of the adult population has said we are concerned about long-term well-being of the nation, we are concerned about our children's future. Believe me, not in a single nation has this been expressed. They will just talk about it in tea parties, in dinner parties, small, it's more like an entertainment. It's a kind of a fashionable thing to talk about environment and all this stuff. So for the first time today, I don't have absolute metrics for this, but people who are reading the whole, the social media stuff, some of them who claim to be experts, they're telling me it could be somewhere over 2 billion people who have spoken about soil from 21st of March. So our idea is to reach 3.5 to 4 billion, which will amount to 60%. I think we will get there by the time we get to India. Because the momentum has built up and governments are beginning to talk about it. Different agencies are beginning to talk about it. UNCCC also is saying they will include soil in the COP27 in Egypt. And, in the World Economic Forum, for the first time in the World Economic Forum, there is a certain amount of time and space allotted for soil. I will be there for just a day and a half to present this. And Karnataka government is going full hog to have a soil-related event in World Economic Forum. And already Karnataka Chief Minister has launched this in Karnataka by himself. From the government side, they've launched the soil movement and soil health thing. But till now, the most shocking thing in the world is by talking to various agricultural ministries across the world, what I see is 85% of the nations still address soil as an inert substance, which can be fixed by adding a chemical or taking off a chemical. It's the largest living system in the known universe. If we do not understand it's a living thing, then we will definitely treat it all wrong. Today, top scientists in the world, top soil scientists in the world are openly admitting that they know less than 1% of the species of organisms present in the soil. When we do not even know 1%, we shouldn't mess with it. It's as simple as that.
True, but I know you are in Riyadh and then you will be India bound very, very soon. So let me ask you, what is it that your focus will be as you turn towards India after going across the world to spread this message as you come towards India? I think you're going to touch in Dwarka towards the end of the month.
Yes, I'm India bound, but first thing is I need to survive this desert ride. Temperatures are already over 40 degrees and winds are blowing at speeds where it's literally blowing the motorcycle off the road. So let me survive before I come to India. Hope I should get to India by end of May. And I think we are coming in, not in Dwarka because that port had some issues. There is some maintenance or something there. So we probably landing in Jamnagar. And Maharaja Jamnagar is, welcomed us and he wants to be the host there. So we come in there, then to Ahmedabad, then we are in that Anand region, not exactly Anand, but all the dairy farmers, about 50,000 farmers are assembling there and we're meeting them, and then Jaipur. And we are in Delhi for June 5th, which is the World Environment Day. There should be an event with the Prime Minister and also a public event. So this is where it's going. We've still not touched the Indian population in a big way. But I think once those numbers add up, I think it'll get much, much more momentum.
Well, soil is in the consciousness, it's in the conversation space, but I think there has to be a certain momentum that needs to be built. So the Baba on a bike or a Guru on a bike the world over, when he comes to India, there will be a lot who will get on with him to talk about Bhumi. That's what it is, Sadhguruji. I think it's very noble. You're also putting yourself under a lot of stress and a lot of effort for this. But I think something needs to be done for our Bhumi, because without
I
Bhumi,
think
we won't exist.
in India, our Prime Minister's, already he's indicated his heart is very much in the soil thing. I think he was one of the few people who brought this soil health card, but maybe
Yeah.
that was not sophisticated enough, or it was simple enough for the farmers to understand, but I think it didn't really take the momentum that it had to, because there was no emotional movement in that direction. It was just policy. So in India, policies don't work just as an announcement. It has to be an emotional movement. So I think with the soil movement, definitely it will happen. Yesterday, when I was in Cote d'Ivoire, one little boy, about 10, 11-year-old boy, comes and hands me over a box that I can't lift in my two arms. And he says, "These are all the letters I've gathered from children from his
Wow.
school."
Lovely.
Weighing more than 35, 40 kilograms.
Wow.
I don't know
That's
how many
brilliant.
letters are there, I just received it. In India, I think children are writing, the CBSE schools have made an open appeal.
Mm.
So our idea was to send at least 10 million letters to the Prime Minister. But
Lovely.
I think Indian Agriculture Ministry and Environment Minister is fully focused on this. So I think India policy will come through. Well, there are economic restrictions, so how the pace is a questionable thing always. But once the direction is set, all of us can push the pace as much as we can and make it happen in the next 12 to 15 years. If we turn this around significantly, that will be something that we would have done for future generations.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to ride with you some distance, not as a journalist, but as somebody who wants to join the movement. I know you're going solo this time around, and you're doing it all alone, the ride. But it'll be good to have you and also to track you. Look forward to meeting you again soon, and also we are with you in this effort to save soil, this mission Bhumi. Thank you very much, Sadhguruji. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you,
Namaskar.
Anand. Let's make
Namaskar.
it happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.